partner with the Galveston County Food Bank, how you can help people in our community starting today. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. It's just after 9 o'clock on a Thursday morning. It's a beautiful rainy day. Just another blessed day to be alive, and I have some guests in studio. Good morning, ladies. How you doing?
Hi. We're doing great.
I'm going to let you all introduce yourselves. We'll start right here and then say who you're with and what you do for the organization.
Okay. My name is Amanda McCarty, and I am with the Galveston County Food Bank, and I am the marketing coordinator.
Hi, everybody. I'm Julie Morrell. I'm the development coordinator at the Galveston County Food Bank.
And how long have y'all been working with the Galveston County Food Bank? It's been an interesting year. How long have y'all been with the organization, and then what does this year look like so far?
I'm on my second year with the Galveston County Food Bank. It's been a strange and unusual last time since COVID started, but we have been really moving forward in positive ways and made some positive changes within ourselves and how we're going to move forward.
So
with
last year was your first year with the organization, and it probably looked a lot different than than this year. You know, what is the main thing that I guess that you've noticed the difference?
I think we've just made a lot of changes on how we just handle bringing out the food to people, how we're sharing our information. It's been spectacular, the amount of support the community brings to us, and the different retailers and just volunteers. They've been spectacular through everything.
And Amanda, how long have you been with the Galveston County Food Bank?
So I've been with the Galveston County Food Bank for a little over 4 years now. So unfortunately, this year doesn't look too different for me. I was with the Galveston County Food Bank during Hurricane Harvey. So us responding to crisis, we're kind of used to that now. This year is a little different just because the crisis has lasted longer. Hurricane Harvey, we're talking 2 to maybe 4 weeks of us being in crisis mode and, recovery mode and supplying the county with what the needs are. But this year with COVID, it's, been almost a year now. It's been very long and ongoing. So a little bit different, but we're, kind of used to that changing, adapting quickly and, rising up to meet the needs of the county.
All right. So as y'all drove up, there's a cool thing that happens on Thursdays here at Abundant Life, which is where KHEA Radio has our studio and offices and stuff. In the parking lot, there's probably about 250 to 300 cars, depending on the, week to week, that come out on Thursdays. And the way that was described to me, not from one of y'all, but somebody, on staff here said it was like some kind of super site. What's the idea behind those?
Yes. So for the mobile distribution, this year we did have to change that setup and how that model looks. Due to the coronavirus and trying to limit contact, we are doing a drive-through model only where individuals stay in their vehicles just to limit that contact, and then the groceries are put in the back of their vehicle. Typically, the mobile distribution before, recipients would park and walk up to the truck, and they would get in lines, and they'd go around the truck and get the food and then go back to their vehicles. So this time they're staying in their vehicles. There's been some challenges with that. But with the super sites, we really have grown. The super sites came on to meet the growing need and also to meet the new model of the drive-through. So not all of our existing mobile sites prior had the capacity with parking lot or with being right off a main road and hindering traffic. There were some obstacles. So we had to look for sites such as Abundant Life that had the means that they could hold that many cars, that they could get them through in a quick manner and a safe manner as well, back onto the main traffic roads.
What did y'all see? Was there more people reaching out due to, unemployment or not being able to work as many hours or getting laid off?
Oh, definitely. Mm-hmm. And the type of clientele that we've been assisting this year has dramatically changed. It's a lot of first-time people needing help due to their situation of being laid off or limited hours, especially with the hospitality industry, restaurants and hotels and such like that. The workers having reduced hours is a big hit to their family income.
So what's required? I see, as I drive up on Thursday, there's, cars out there. If I understand correctly, you just kind of have to line up and answer a couple questions. What kind of requirements are required?
Well, it's a standard intake form that you are giving a self proclamation of your income to show what the need is, or if it's an emergency need versus COVID or something else that's happened to your family immediately. That there's a place on the form for that.
So to limit the contact, they don't actually fill the form out. Excuse me. The volunteer goes around with a clipboard and asks them some questions, and just to kind of ask those questions about income, or if they had an emergency need that has required them to need food assistance at this time. And it's just a self-declaration. It's not like they're bringing documents to show proof.
Driver's license, and this is my kid's certificates and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, we take their word for it. How many's in the household, and what's the household income, and it's a self attest to that, and then we just fill that information in and get them on their way to get the food.
Have y'all heard feedback from the people that are able to come? Do they enjoy this contactless, method better? I feel like I would. I'd just be like, hey, yeah, sweet, I'm here. Thank you so much.
I think they
so
feel
definitely,
safer.
yeah, definitely. The majority of people really like this approach more. It's faster. It's easier to streamline. Our drivers on our back end, our drivers like it more. The setup is quicker. And before, there were some challenges when people walked up, especially if they were elderly or disabled. They couldn't always have a means to carry all the food. So a lot of times when you would see the sites traditionally, when they walked up, they would bring carts or wagons or totes, something to put the food in to help get it back to their vehicle. So this eliminates that obstacle and that challenge of being able to carry it themselves, because we didn't always have enough volunteers at every site to help them get it back to their car. So this eliminates that. It really streamlines the system and makes it flow a lot faster and more efficient. So we've had a lot of feedback on that. The only downside to the mobile is and it's a very small percentage, is not everyone has a vehicle. So then we come into that issue. Not everyone has a vehicle. And we realize that. But we still have our partner pantries that are open, and they're still assisting people. So we usually try to find a location near an individual if they call with that need, that they don't have a vehicle to come to the mobile in that way, to go to one of our pantries to receive food.
So out here we have volunteers and staff members that give time and hours every week to come out. The trucks show up, and then it's just unloading. They're out there right now, and they can hear us. So thank you guys for all the hard work y'all are doing.
Definitely.
One thing that we've added to the church services at Abundant Life is, at every service, at some point they say, hey, on Thursday there is this going to be taking place on the campus. If you're able to volunteer or you need food, please come. So they push that out there, like, please come and help if you can, which I think is great. So, there's other places in the community that have super sites as well. Is that correct? So if someone's not in Lamarque, if they're somewhere else?
Yeah. So in Galveston on the island, Catholic Charities has partnered with us. So they're at the community center, 4700 Broadway, and they are doing a super site there. Again, they had the ample space in the parking lot to be able to do the drive-through model. So they've been doing that for quite a while with us as well. And then there's a few other churches in Dickinson. We have some in Hitchcock as well that are still doing the drive-through models.
I think there's one in Lamarque. I think they do it on Wednesdays.
At First United Methodist.
Yes.
So they're they've been with us for several years now as a mobile site, and they're kind of nestled into a neighborhood. So they have a little bit more challenges, but they've adapted and they've been able to do the car model. And they're doing very well. And they're another church like Abundant Life that just has such a great volunteer base that they have people come out all the time to help and assist. So we're very grateful for them as well.
All right. So let's go through the calendar. We talked about some stuff that's coming up, and there's something cool happening at the Galveston Randalls where people have an opportunity to donate and give. What's going on there?
It's Share Your Holiday. It's a fall into Christmas. They normally do it earlier in the season, but because of COVID and restrictions, they had to push it back. It's a fantastic. It's also goes hand in hand with the Share Your Holiday that Ball High does. They do a huge food donation, but Randall's is doing where you can do by voucher, $5 or a bag that they have in the store, and you take it to the register, and that helps. Comes back directly to the Galveston County Food Bank for Galveston and all local residents.
Yes, it's
So
a prepackaged bag of groceries, and they have a list on there that says what all it contains. But it's like some canned meat, like tuna or chicken, peanut butter, dry goods, non-perishables. And then shoppers at Randall's, when they go through, they can purchase one of the bags for $5, as many bags as they want, to make a donation toward that. And that product is sent to us through the Share Your Holiday food drive.
I love the name, Fall into Christmas, which is
They adapted.
crazy.
Yeah, they adapted really quickly to that, because usually it's Christmas in July, and they usually do run the promotion in July. And since they had to push it back for fall, it's really cute. Their flyer, if you see it like on our Facebook under events for that one, it's very cute. They have the fall leaves on and the flyer and everything. They really went into that, fall into Christmas. When you walk into the Randalls at Galveston, the entries, they have a display with the bags up and with fall kind of decor around it to draw attention to that promotion.
And today's the 8th, October the 8th, and I think that's going till October the 10th, right?
Yes, it is.
So if you're in Galveston and you need to grocery shop, or you just want to donate, and then that's the opportunity. You need to do it today before the 10th.
Yes.
Okay, so then you'll have another event that is coming up quick. It's the 30th and the 31st, and I remember talking about this last year when y'all did it. I'm sure you'll have to do it maybe a little bit differently, but it's a huge warehouse. What do y'all have going on?
It's the Haunted Warehouse. It is the most spectacular event of the year. We are going to have a big kickoff on Friday the 30th. We're going to have a DJ out there, music. We're going to have Big Phil's food truck. Good Grubs has committed to come out on Friday.
Good Grub Grill?
Yes.
Okay, I know them. Yeah, they're great.
They're wonderful, really giving. And we're going to be social distancing in the parking lot. So you'll be standing or coming through our haunted house in your family group or friend group that you arrive in. So there won't be anything to touch. So we'll have it marked off. So there's social distancing. We're also having a photo booth where you can go in, and then we'll have a photo attendant who sprays and sanitizes the area in between customers coming through. But the haunted warehouse, it's about 2,700 feet of hauntedness. It's going to be, like I said, spectacular, but there will be no one doing any close following. We'll ask the guests and volunteers who are close to each other to wear masks just to even come in. But no one's going to be touching you. No, there's nothing for you to touch. It's a totally socially distant type of event.
So you stay in your group that you came with, and no one's like touching you or doing anything. They're kind of just guiding you through. And that warehouse is like the newest one that you'll have, right?
Yes, at the administration building.
And I've been there before, and it's a beautiful building, and it's very large.
Yes. And last year, it's kind of the same. Last year there was limited contact as well, but this year it's even more so. But the groups, when they come in with your own group, you'll be led through. And the way that we weave you through the racks of the warehouse and the different haunted areas, you're in the middle of the aisle. So you're nowhere near walls or the racks. There's nothing to touch. All the decor and props are going to be, along the edges of it, not in the middle of the row. So there's no contact for anything. You're just going to be guided through. Each group is led with a leader through. It's not you don't go through yourself. It's not a self-paced haunted house. You're led through as your group.
Yes. Is this a big fundraiser for you guys?
This is one of our big annual fundraisers. This is the second year that we're doing the haunted warehouse. Last year we did it just on a Saturday during Touch a Truck with the city of Texas City, and it blew up bigger than we realized. It was a huge success. We're so grateful for the community's support and everyone coming out. But we had so many people that were contacting us after that Saturday when they started seeing things on social media, other people who had went through and their feedback saying how fun it was. And they asked us, are you going to be doing it again the following weekend? And we weren't. Unfortunately, we were only set up for that one day that year. And so we wanted to make sure to kind of do it a little bit longer. When we found out Halloween was actually on a weekend, on a Saturday this year, we decided to do it Friday and Saturday. We had a few other things in plan. We were going to do it the Saturday prior as well with the Touch a Truck event, but the city did cancel that event due to the COVID and the limited contact. So we've kind of had to scale back on some stuff that we had planned originally, but it will still be 2 full nights.
We also still have sponsorship availability. We had lowered our levels because of COVID, and so many organizations are hit. We've had lots of great givers, though. HEB, Hometown Bank. My goodness, we've had quite a few really big places join us. Yeah. We also have tickets online at a lower price to save on contact. So they'll just come in. There'll be a list of your name. We'll just check you off that you attended. You show us on your phone your receipt, and there's no contact.
You know, y'all mentioned Touch a Truck earlier, and I saw that they aren't doing it normal. Did I see something that they're going to do like a drive-through Touch a Truck? Did y'all see anything like that?
They're drive-through trick or treat. So the city of Texas City is doing a thing at, I believe, the Nesler Center in the parking lot. They're doing a drive-through trick or treating that we had seen, and that's earlier in the day. I think
at 2 to 4:30. So at 4:30, they can just keep driving and
come on over to the haunted warehouse.
So what's the website? What's y'all's website if somebody wants to learn more information, get tickets, donate, volunteer? How do they find you guys?
So it's GalvestonCountyFoodBank.org. And when they go to the website, they'll have all the information about our organization, our mission. There's a Find Help tab on the menu for anyone seeking services. We have an interactive map on that tab under Find Help, so they can put in their zip code, find a pantry or a mobile near them to find assistance if they need to. There's also the mobile calendar is on there, which is the calendar of the month that says where all our mobile locations are, the time and the addresses for each of those. And then there's information if they want to do a food drive, if they want to make a monetary donation. And then on the top of the website, there's a link right now that says the Haunted Warehouse. If they click that, then they go to a page where it tells you everything about the Haunted Warehouse. If you want to volunteer, because we do use volunteers for this to haunt. So anyone interested in haunting the warehouse or helping outside for some of the other stations if they don't want to dress up. We have that sponsorship opportunities is on that page, and then also the tickets. So you can go on there and pre-buy your tickets ahead of time. It's $8 a ticket right now for the Haunted Warehouse, and
$10 at the door.
Yep, it'd be $10 at the door.
All the sponsor levels, though, which is great, all the money goes directly back to the food bank. So this money that when people do sponsorships or tickets, it's not toward the event. It all goes directly back. And sponsorship levels actually give tickets back, and we give out tickets through our pantry. So it's giving not only to us just to raise funds, it's also giving back into the community of maybe those who couldn't come on any other basis on their own. So those sponsorship levels are not just for us. It's also giving directly back to children who maybe couldn't attend because it just wasn't cost effective for their family.
Right now it is 9:18. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. My name's Gardy, and we are talking to Amanda and Julie with the Galveston County Food Bank. Amanda, you had mentioned on the website that there's an opportunity to see a tab or a button where you can throw your own fundraiser or do an event or anything like that. If you want to get involved as an organization, there's a holiday market coming up, November the 14th. Yes. Who's putting that on? Where is it? And what can you expect?
So that is the Peanut Butter Warehouse in Galveston.
Sounds delicious, by the way. The Peanut Butter Warehouse sounds great.
They're in a really neat historic building down off of Harborside in the Strand area of Galveston. And so this is a third-party event. They are hosting this on our behalf. And also the Galveston Island Humane Society is another beneficiary of this event. It's for local crafters to show and sell their arts and their home decor, anything holiday. It's kind of like a holiday market, and they are going to be giving part of the proceeds to the Galveston County Food Bank and the Galveston Island Humane Society.
We'll also have our own table there for donations or any food type items, non-perishable items that anybody would like to come and donate.
How important is it to the food bank that organizations like that do those third-party events?
It really helps the community get involved with us by doing something that they're enjoying also. They're really excited about this for the Peanut Butter Factory warehouse event. So it's their community. Galveston's a really tight-knit community.
It is, yes.
And they really bond together. So we really appreciate that we were one of the organizations they reached out to support.
Yes.
Yeah. And the Peanut Butter Warehouse, they actually have an event center, and that's where this is going to be held on the second story, I believe, of their building. And so they're kind of wanting to utilize that space for good, and to kind of show the community what that space can be, because I believe that space could be rented for events and different things. So they're kind of highlighting that, but they're holding the this first annual holiday market there. That will be on November 14th.
All right. Like right now we're kind of going through the list and knocking out some stuff, and we talked a little bit about this earlier, but this year has been unique, due to coronavirus and regulations and some businesses being shut down. So can we remind people, like, what has that done to nonprofits? What has that done to the Galveston County Food Bank? I was talking to Chris D'Alessandri a couple months ago, and he said they're like $500,000 down in their fundraising because they can't do these events. Right. And I know they're a big partner with you guys. He said, hey, we had some of the reserves for next year that we were able to meet what we were going to do, but now we have to raise some money so that way we can keep going on with our mission. What has COVID and the restrictions and everything going on, how has that affected you all?
So it's affected the food bank in ways that I don't think everybody would realize, that's outside of the food banking world. At first we went into crisis mode and just, trying to help our community when this hit and when people started being laid off in different situations. But it's been long term. So we're starting to feel it. It's hit industries that involve food further higher up than us, and and the effects of that are coming down on us because it's hit the agriculture business. It's hit farmers. There have been where factories just can't keep up. They have factory workers that are out, so they've gone down to only 1 or 2 shifts instead of 3 shifts at some of the factories to process the food, especially like dairy is a big one that's been hit. Meat packing facilities, when some of their workers get COVID, because it's such a small area that so many workers are out, they have to go down on production. And so that comes back down to the food bank. That comes down that there's less food relatively available for us to be able to give out to the community. So we've had other hardships that we're still dealing with. We're partners of Feeding America and Feeding Texas, and we're very grateful for that. Because they're able to have some of that bulk supply of food to us as a food bank, but they're even filling it too. I mean, this isn't an isolated event. Like when we have a hurricane, usually it's isolated to a certain area or region. This is across the country that's dealing with this. It's all the food banks. We're not the only food bank. It's all the food banks. So it's kind of a different, a different circumstance than we're used to.
How have y'all adapted? Have y'all learned, or just been like, we got to roll with it? Because I remember there was like a meat shortage for a bit. There's no meat. You would go to the store because people were buying it up, but then they were saying, well, it's not just that. It's the packing industry for these different reasons, and that's why we can't keep meat on the shelves. How have you guys adapted? Just you get what you can and offer it to the people?
Exactly. Unfortunately, that's what we have to do. And we just try to be smart about it. We have to look at our inventory, and every time we do like a mobile, we have to look at what's available, and then, based on how many people show up at the mobile, how much can we give to each family? We've actually been able to stay consistent, though. We've been very blessed in that way. We've been pushing anywhere from about 60 to 75 pounds of food per family that comes through at a mobile site, so we've been able to kind of keep that consistent. There's sometimes, just especially with fresh produce, as you know, sometimes we will get in a big rush of fresh produce. We've had some really good tomatoes recently, some oranges, some produce like peaches and nectarines are really big right now. When they come in, because they're fresh, they have a short life. So sometimes we'll be able to give an abundant amount of those items at a mobile. But then, like, say the next week, we get in a shipment and it's not as much. It's a smaller amount, and so then we have to scale back. So, some of the recipients at the mobile do see a fluctuation on some of the items, whether it's the dairy. For a while, we were getting a lot of dairy in. Then that kind of slowed down. So they see these fluctuations, but we have to work with what we can get, and we just try to, divide that up amongst our clientele that needs to get those services the best that we can, so that we can feed the masses.
Yeah. So on Thursdays, this is a reminder at Abundant Life. If you pull up, it's a contact list. You pop your trunk. They ask you some questions, and you can get your trunk filled or the door filled with a box of produce. And one of the fun things is that you don't know what it is. Like you said, like, hey, what's it going to be this week? But it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Like what what can, a random box expect? Do y'all try and meet like, okay, we'll try and get like a grain or a fruit, or is it just, hey, we don't know what we're going to get, and that's what it is?
Yeah,
but it's great stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is just whatever comes in that we can use. So it's not always a planned out menu like that. But we try to keep the weight. So we always try to keep the weight from the 60 to 75 pounds, no matter what the food is. We try to meet that weight range. But we've had, the summertime we had watermelons. We had huge watermelons all the way up to August. We're still coming in. So people saw those. Now we're seeing a lot of nectarines and peaches, oranges, a lot of citrus fruits coming in. With tomatoes at the mobile yesterday in Galveston, the tomatoes, like really big tomatoes, that just looked great. So it's kind of changing with the season now. We're kind of seeing those changes.
Our PDO Houston Food Bank brings us, so we don't always know. We know about having pallets of food we don't know exactly what's in it or how they're going to get here. A lot of times with fresh fruit and vegetables, sometimes it's not, it's in transit. It's got smushed, or it's just not. We wouldn't give it out to anyone if it's something we wouldn't eat ourselves. So,
right.
Yeah.
So we have to also have produce rescue where people actually go through. That's time consuming. A lot of times, I know Abundant Life volunteers here when the truck comes, they're bagging it right here. So they're seeing firsthand. Sometimes it's wonderful quality. Sometimes there's things in the middle that got a little squished and. So.
Yes. So we were talking about volunteering and, people checking and bagging. What are all of the ways that people can support and get involved, whether that's money, time, throwing an event? What can they do?
So visiting our website's the best place to go. So when you go to galvestoncountyfoodbank.org, when you go to the tab that says Get Involved, there's a drop down. And there's different ways to help. And they talk about donation, monetary donation, food drives. There's a section that talks about volunteering. We have a sign-up page, and it shows all our ongoing volunteering efforts and how you can sign up and register through that. Not only with us as a food bank, like on site, like sorting the product that we get in from retailers or doing the produce rescue, like Julie was discussing, where we go through the donated product, the haunted warehouse coming up, internal ones. But then we also help with volunteers for external, like with the mobile sites, sending volunteers to help meet that need that our host sites have when they host a mobile.
Yes.
In collaboration
There's
with
lots
us.
of fun. We also have posters for positivity that groups can make posters supporting the food bank. They send us the pictures of them supporting in their organizations, and it's totally off-site. We've received some decorations for the haunted warehouse. They've created that off-site at home. So there's those type of volunteer opportunities that you don't have to actually come. If you also share our items on Facebook so your friends can see that you're supporting us also.
Oh, yeah. Advocating for us is a really big step, too. And that's another one that is contact list that people can do from home. Social media is a huge way to help us get the word out and to help spread our upcoming events or what our needs are. So we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So anybody that wants to go and follow us, and then if they can just share some of our posts, share when we have a need or share an event coming up, that's a great way to help advocate.
And it's free.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you're on it anyway, sometimes it's just as easy as clicking 2 buttons or tagging a friend, sharing this video now that you're watching.
Yes.
Oh, and speaking of tagging, we do have a ticket giveaway going on right now on Facebook and Instagram for the Haunted Warehouse. So you can enter to win 2 free tickets to the Haunted Warehouse. And all you have to do is come to our administration building in Texas City at 213 6th Street North. And there's a big mural. It was created by a 10th grader, Emma Moore, and it took her 12 hours. She did an amazing job. She made a big mural on behalf of our Haunted Warehouse. It's spectacular. And
it was fantastic.
It is out front. And so what we're asking people to do is to come out front, take a picture, take a selfie or a group picture in front of the mural, put that on Facebook or Instagram, and tag Galveston County Food Bank, and you'll be entered into the contest to win 2 free tickets.
Cool. That's awesome. And that's easy.
Yes, but
That's
that's just
easy.
another way someone in the community helped us. Emma is a great artist, and she loves doing that kind of thing. And she helped with the Haunted Warehouse last year as well. She's with National Charity League, so their group comes a lot to volunteer. And she, we saw her artistic abilities. We asked her if she could come do some art. She did a smaller scale mural for Kids Pack during summer. We were one of the locations where you could come to get a kid pack meal for children in need. And she made like a little easel art on an easel for that. And she did such a great job that we asked her if she wouldn't mind doing something for the haunted warehouse at a little bit larger scale. So she did it on these 3 large windows that are side by side at the front of the food bank. And it's the first time she did something that large. So it was a learning experience for her. She did a phenomenal job. She's already got a lot of people commenting and asking if she'll come do artwork on their windows for their daycare or for their businesses. So it's really just a great way to highlight the talent that we have out there. She's only in 10th grade. She's so talented. But we had last year the volunteers, a lot of them were high school students as well. So high school and college students came and volunteered with us. It is considered, volunteer hours. A lot of them need it for groups, like if they're in honor society or different groups in school, they have to have so many hours of volunteering. So if you volunteer with us, we do give you sign off on your hours and give you paperwork showing that you volunteered in case you need those hours.
And just to make parents feel better, if they're sending their teenager to come help us, we also do background checks on everyone, just because they're working with children in a small area. So we do background checks also on everybody, but any high schools, any colleges out there who would like to help, we'd love to have you a part of it. We also have some posters we're looking for and artwork that people can create at home, part of our Carnival section.
Yes.
So it's going to be so scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one question. I know something that y'all used to do was have some food delivered to the people who could not get out, or if they were elderly. Is that
Yes.
something that y'all still do?
Oh, yes, definitely. So that's our homebound nutritional outreach program, and that is something still available. It's still going on. So we've been blessed with an amazing volunteer force behind that. So that is mainly done with volunteers that deliver to the individuals, and they have, done what they need to limit contact. They wear a mask, they wear gloves when they go to protect them and the recipient of the box. But that is still going on. That has never stopped. That never had a pause to it. That had to keep going. So that's a once a month delivery that someone receives about a 25-pound box of non-perishable goods, and occasionally some fresh produce or bread items along with it, just depending on donations that we have available. But we have over 450 individuals on our homebound program that receive.
So there's like 450 houses that people are delivering those boxes to.
Yeah, so some of them are properties, some of them are like apartment complexes or senior living facilities, and our trucks deliver to the larger ones like that if there's 10 or more at a certain property or resident. But for the individual homes, or if it's just 1 or 2 people in an apartment complex, that's done by our volunteers, and we have different routes. We have, I think we're up to 30 routes that get delivered through volunteers.
All right. Is there anything else y'all would like to share? I know y'all want to probably share the website one more time before we sew it up today.
Oh, I don't know. I just want to share that we appreciate everybody who comes and who works and volunteers with us. We appreciate all of the clients and their support. Everybody's been fantastic coming in with masks. It's just been so supportive. You letting us come here just to share our mission. We're here to end hunger, and that's what we're going to do.
All right.
Yeah, and so that website is galvestoncountyfoodbank.org.
This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. All right, Facebook. Thank y'all so much. Be blessed. Feel free to share this out and go to the website. Get involved.